The following segments are pre-recorded and sponsored by Longworth Productions.
Women's Healthcare on Triad Today. Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth and welcome to another edition of Triad Today, coming to you once again from the beautiful Senior Botanical Garden in Kernersville. We'll tell you more about them later on, and later on is when the roundtable shows up, so no telling what kind of controversies they're going to get into, so stay tuned for that. Between now and then, some great guests, important information coming your way, but I can't think of anything more important than looking out for our kids. And that's what this special guest helps to do, is she helps to shape their future, getting toward college and other things. With me, of course, she's been on the show before. Amanda Roseman is Chief Impact Officer for Shift Ed. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
For folks who maybe haven't, just moved into the area or haven't seen some of our segments, give me a few seconds of what Shift Ed is all about.
Yeah, Shift Ed, we are dedicated to boldly accelerating student potential. So we work with students as young as elementary school and stay with them all the way to and through their college journey to make sure they're ready for their next phase of career.
Now, in this past year, because you sent me an email about this, you and Wendy did, you've had a major grant, you're going into the second year of the SEO Scholars, you've got big expansion plans. So give me some specifics on each of those things.
Yeah, so we were very fortunate this past year to serve over 18,000 students in Guilford County. Cisco has given us $8 million over 4 years to expand that work by 10% annually, including expansion plans into Forsyth and Randolph County. So we're excited for that. Our first program we will expand is the SEO Scholars Program.
Right. And a lot of folks, were watching before on the show, and because we talked about Guilford this and Guilford that, but I think it's really good news that we're going to be encompassing some things. And you're excited about going in Forsyth too and doing some things there.
I'm very excited. Just as Triad Today, we want to serve the whole Triad.
Well, good tie-in there. We're going to make her a permanent guest on the show. How can students get involved in the SEO Scholars Program?
Great question. So SEO Scholars, briefly, is a academic-based program that helps students access a 4-year degree starting in 9th grade. So any 9th grader who's interested in applying can apply now on our website all the way through December 8th. To be a part of the cohort.
Now, what can you tell college-bound students and their parents about the changes in this free application for federal student aid program? What can you tell them?
Yeah, so the free application for federal student aid is a mouthful. People most likely call it FAFSA.
Okay.
It is a requirement for almost all scholarships, almost all state and federal aid, as well as a lot of institutional aid. The changes this year, the big one is they pushed the deadline back to open on December 1st instead of October 1st. And we're doing an entire series of pop-up shops around tips on how to fill out the FAFSA, all the documentation needed starting October 18th, and we'll continue those all the way through December 1st.
And of course, there are other scholarships and things and aid that's available to students, and you can have multiple ones. You're not just limited, right? So if you get this one, you can do other things too? Yeah,
absolutely. So the FAFSA is required for almost all scholarships, whether it's the Shift Ed scholarship or other scholarships across the state, country, region, etc.
When you've been on the show before, and Wendy, and we've talked about all the great things you're doing for high school students and helping them prepare for college and life, really, when you look ahead. But let's just take a moment, because somebody asked me one day, well, do they help junior high folks or middle school folks, younger folks than high school?
We do. So we've created what we call an education continuum. We start as early as pre-K and serve students all the way through the end of their college journey. So elementary school is really focused on getting students ready to learn. So we focus on literacy, remediation, and tutoring, helping students get to that area to where they can read to learn. And then middle school really focus on career exposure and access to other careers to help students figure out who and what they're going to be when they grow up into that high school and college space.
How can folks support what you're doing?
So we offer all of our programs free to students and families, meaning that we need donations from the community. So you can either give directly on our website or join us for our Accelerating Impact Lunch on November 13th at the Tanger Center with Jeffrey Canada.
Golly, you remembered all that stuff, didn't you? That's good. That's exciting. Up on screen, you can go to a couple things I want to put up here. shifted.org/events, and then the general website is shifted.org, and I hope you will check that out and support all the great work that Amanda and Wendy and the whole team is doing. Thanks, Amanda.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back after this.
Need help buying food? Everyone needs help sometimes. Food Nutrition Services may be able to help you buy food and free up your money for other expenses, such as utilities and medicine. To receive F&S assistance, households must meet income limits. You may be able to get assistance even if you own a home, car, land, property, or have a retirement plan or money in the bank. Second Harvest Food Bank of Northwest North Carolina team members can help you with the application process over the phone. To receive help or if you have any questions, call 336-422-7758.
Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you that Triad Today is now streaming on WFMY Plus, available free on Roku and Amazon Fire TV. Back now on Triad Today, and I want to explore the topic of emerging technologies. And I have two experts in the field, and they just happen to walk through, so we're going to talk to them. My good buddy, Jimmy Fleith, Director of Government and Community Relations for Duke Energy. He brought along a special guest of his own, Ashley Coleman, Manager of Technology Development in the Emerging Technologies Office. Welcome to both of you. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks
Jimmy,
for having us.
let me start with you. Now, how does Duke Energy approach research and development these days?
Yeah, well, Ashley will tell us a little bit more about it in just a second, but we've got this Emerging Technologies Office that was established not too long ago, but it's really kind of focused to kind of help us with this transition to a cleaner energy and a cleaner energy future for our customers and improvement for the environment. So just really thought it was great to have Ashley join us. She's got 2 engineering degrees from North Carolina A&T, so somewhat of a local, locally educated.
She's local, but she told me before she's been everywhere, lived in Germany and all that stuff. Hey, Ashley, what is this Emerging Technologies Office all about?
Yeah, so we are Duke Energy's research and development arm, and we're focused on providing insights as it relates to technologies we should be evaluating, testing, and adopting, to include battery technology such as non-lithium ion for long duration storage, green hydrogen, as well as managed electric vehicle charging for the adoption of EVs in our service territory.
Yeah, now you just pretty much answered this, but you want to be more specific about some of the projects that you're working on?
Sure. So personally, I'm focused on green hydrogen. We recently installed a small unit that has an electrolyzer, a fuel cell, and metal hydride to create hydrogen, store it, and be used to charge our electric vehicles on site. And so this is in preparation of long duration storage where we have reduced carbon on the grid, and we see hydrogen being a part of that solution.
All right, now I was never good in science. Now explain for me, if I have an electric vehicle, what are you laughing at? He thinks I'm not good at anything. If I have an electric vehicle and I go to charge it, are you saying that this green hydrogen goes into it's the power source or what?
Well, the hydrogen is being used to store, and you use the fuel cell to create electricity, and that is used to charge the electric vehicle. So it's a different source versus going straight to the grid to charge the vehicle.
All right, what are you most excited about with all the things going on?
I'm excited about a day where distributed energy resources such as rooftop solar, residential batteries, and charging will be affordable for everyday customers at the home. And the electric utility can use smart software such as a DERMS platform to optimize energy on the grid to help reduce our overall carbon footprint. And there will be a future for that, and we're evaluating that now to do some testing at our facility.
Yeah, it sounds great, and I hope that in the future, you'll have home builders that just as routinely will just put in charging stations, and that would be kind of neat, and that will help get us toward that. I'm curious, since you and I never met, who or what led you to a career in engineering?
Right. So my professor from North Carolina A&T that you may be familiar with, Professor Robert Powell, introduced me to energy efficiency. And at the time when I was in school, that was, the thing to do. And so I studied in architectural engineering and efficiency for buildings. And when I graduated, I got an internship with Progress Energy at the time and started learning about energy. And I just took it and ran with it. So I'm an opportunist and pivoted and have enjoyed it ever since.
Jimmy, don't you wish you had some enthusiasm for her job? You have any final thoughts on this?
We're really fortunate to have young people like Ashley that want to get engaged and are looking at the future. And so, we've got a lot of great topics.
I wanted to get
here.
engaged to Ashley too, but I'm too old for it. It's a whole different topic there. Up on screen, duke-energy.com is the main website, which I hope you'll check out. Seriously, I thank you for all you're doing with this.
We're excited. We'll have Ashley back to maybe get into a little bit more detail on some of these topics in the future.
Yeah, because you guys, bottom line, you're helping us to save money and save energy. Seriously, and I appreciate everything you're doing. Thanks, Ashley.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this.
When storms hit, we're here for you. With new grid technology that can reroute power to avoid outages, and better communication to keep you in the know. And as we transition to a cleaner energy future, we'll still be here for you, keeping your costs down even as we work to expand renewables and explore new energy sources. We're Duke Energy, and we're building a smarter energy future for you.
You know, it's hard to believe the Safe Sober program has been going strong for over 30 years.
And over 600,000 students have made the pledge to stay safe and sober on prom night. You know, Griff, it's had a huge impact on our community.
Yeah, you're right, David. And now we're making sure the message continues year-round.
So everyone can join us in supporting our students.
Learn more and take the pledge at safesober.com, sponsored by Daggett Schuler.
Back now on Triad Today. Always glad when we can get one of the good folks from Inmar Intelligence to stop by and spend a few minutes with us. And they're all busy over there with all the great stuff that's going on. And right now we have a special guest, Fred Jorgensen, who's the Chief Legal Officer for Inmar Intelligence. Welcome to the show, Fred.
Thanks so much for having me.
For folks that may not have seen some of our segments in the past or just moved into town, give me a few seconds of sort of what Inmar is all about. What do you all do?
Well, it's a complicated answer. Inmar works primarily in two verticals in what I would generally describe as digital marketing. That by itself, we probably have 12 companies that work in that space. And then generally speaking, in the healthcare vertical, we have a few companies that work in that space as well. We have about 5,000 folks in North America. You know, in terms of revenue, we're a private company, so we don't disclose that. But you know, we're in the kind of $1 billion range for revenue and very profitable.
I know when we look at emails and stuff from you and Spencer and folks, the word innovation is always somewhere in those. You know, it's always there. It seems to be an important part of what you guys do and what you're all about. Why is that?
Well, it's really an evolutionary story. 43 years ago, when John Whitaker founded the company, it was all about coupons, and coupons at that time were all paper.
Right.
But as things evolved, they became digital, and as the digital evolved, for you to get something like a buy one, get one free or a discount on your groceries, we have to know that there's a first Snicker bar in your basket, and then somewhere along the way, there's a second Snicker bar. But in that process, we also see that you like blueberries because we see those on the cart, and we see that you're gluten-free, or maybe you go for low-salt foods or something like that. And so that allows us to tune offers and incentives that are more interesting for your lifestyle and the choices that you make. You know, so we try to score that and help retailers and brands offer things that are interesting for their consumers.
Yeah, and on a micro level, you know, you'll hear sometimes people say, I don't want to share my information with you, but at the same time, look, the whole mission here is you're really saving folks money and easy access to the thing.
It's that, and people don't realize we also eliminate 90% of the junk for them. If you don't have a baby, you don't need the Pampers ad.
That's right.
You know, if you don't drink any soda at all, you don't need anything from Coke or Pepsi.
Right.
So really, finding things that are relevant and interesting for you is kind of what our mission is to make it inviting and lower cost.
You have there was an email you sent me one day about a patent program. What's that?
So we do all kinds of things in innovation. We do lots of things around digital media, social influence, kind of anything that you can think of around the shopper journey through a retailer or around a branded product. So
one of your team members could come up with an idea that gets patented or what?
Absolutely. We have hundreds of submissions every year. I mean, it's just part of kind of tech company land.
Right.
And so we have hundreds of submissions every year. Last year we had well north of 150. We have over 100 patents, north of 110. We have over 50 pending applications. And that's just part of the process, because when you invest that money in innovation, you want to then protect it for the benefit of the company, your employees, and your shareholders.
Give me an example of a patent that you thought was pretty interesting.
Well, one of the things, again, back in the coupon world, that we have to do is we have to communicate what's going by in the lane to some device, right? And the way things are right now is everything's in the cloud, right? Which is a bunch of servers that could be anywhere.
Right.
And so there we have a couple of patents on what we call a message broker, which is a little piece of code that you put in the point of sale system that actually communicates quicker than you can think about it, to our cloud device. We apply the business rules of the brand of the retailer, and then apply the discount from your digital wallet, as those products are scanned.
I think everybody watching should send you a personal email or just call you up at home and say, hey, thanks, Fred, for saving me time and money. That's what, I don't know if they'll do that or not. Up on screen, nmar.com is the website, which I hope everybody will check out. And will you come back sometime?
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks, Fred, for doing that.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back after this.
Banking is like going for a swim. You don't need all the complicated stuff, but you don't want to feel exposed either. At Truliant, we give you just what you need, so you can manage your money on the go or stop by a branch whenever you need to. It's all about having options, while also keeping life simple, with low rates, free financial advice, and friendly faces. So check out Truliant. We have just what you need.
Are you looking to jumpstart your future in the fast-paced, rapidly growing food industry? In Second Harvest Food Bank's Providence Culinary Training Program, you'll learn the craft and art of cooking, plus business and management skills, science and nutrition, and essential life skills. Providence Culinary Training has helped hundreds of individuals just like you launch successful culinary careers. There's no reason to wait to turn your passion for food into an exciting career. Check out the upcoming class schedule on our website at providencews.org.
Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you to catch my column Longworth at Large and Yes Weekly every week. It's available throughout the Triad, or you can go online, yesweekly.com. Back now on Triad Today, and I'd like to talk about something I know absolutely nothing about, but I'm going to find out about it. We're going to talk about caring for women, women's health, woman care, and all new sorts of things going on with Novant Health. And we do it with a very special guest. Dr. Jelima Speaks, she's OBGYN at Novant Health, Woman Care, Kernersville. Good to see you, Doc.
Same here, Jim. Thank you.
Novant Health made a recent announcement about a system-wide initiative regarding mothers and infants. So I want you to tell me what that's all about and what the mission is and what's driving that effort. So tell me all about it.
Absolutely. So at Novant Health, there is a focused effort to improve the lives and wellness for infants and their mothers. Unfortunately, in our country, despite the amount of money we spend on healthcare, we do lead developed nations in maternal death, mortality, right, and morbidity.
Very sad.
Yeah, and it's unfortunately a very complex issue, but we have a strategic approach to incorporate access to early and adequate prenatal care, also making sure we are meeting people's other needs that we know influence and affect their health care and their wellness, and also taking into account the role that our internal bias, our implicit bias as providers may play in making those outcomes disparate for some groups of women.
Let me piggyback off of some of the things you mentioned and just ask, are there some specific focus areas that we should know about that you're working on?
Absolutely, thank you. So one of the more startling statistics in our country is that there's a healthcare gap in outcomes for women of color, Black women, African American women, as well as Latina women and Native American women. Black women, for example, can have 3 to 4 times higher rate of maternal mortality than their white peers. And this is a national statistic, and one that unfortunately got even greater during the pandemic.
Wow.
And so we want to tackle that head on, understanding that it's multifaceted, but we can chip away at it with a better understanding.
When folks come to see you, what can patients and their families expect?
So I think patients can continue to expect high quality care with a culture of safety that, I think it's the Novant Health brand, but also more in-depth investigation of the other influences that can affect someone's health and wellness. So since 2021, we've been asking all of our pregnant mothers about access to nutritious food and have developed effective interventions if they're feeling insecure in that access.
Okay.
Also asking about transportation, making sure that we know know that our patients can get to us to make sure that they can get the prenatal care that they need.
Cutting down those barriers to
Exactly.
healthcare. On a personal note, I read somewhere that I think your grandmother had sort of influence on you. Who or what impacted your decision to go into medicine?
There have been multiple influences. You mentioned my grandmother. She was a pioneer in my mind in a small Caribbean island, teaching Lamaze and prenatal yoga to women to help improve health outcomes, regardless the fact that they were in a small island nation.
Right. Is it true that at age 6 you asked a doctor if you could look at blood under a microscope, or does that happen?
That did happen.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird, I guess, but I've always had a love of science, and just to see that science in action taking care of me as a patient was fascinating, even at a young age.
What a great story. Up on the screen, before time gets away, let me put up this. Novant Health Woman Care in Kernersville. You can call 765-5470. And of course, the general website is novanthealth.org. What a great doctor. What a great asset you are to this community. And will you come back sometime?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thanks, Doc. We'll be right back after this.
Every cookie sold in the Girl Scout Cookie Program helps girls learn lifelong lessons in people skills, decision making, money management, goal setting, and business ethics. It's amazing how much you can learn from a cookie. The Girl Scout Cookie Program. Think outside the box.
Back now on Triad Today, just about time for the round table, but a quick shout out to the good folks here at Senior Botanical Garden. It's a great place to come and visit and see everything, and you could see us right now if you were here. On my right, but always the political left, Ogie Overman, the great broadcaster and journalist. Wendy Poteet joins us. She's the president and CEO of Shift Ed, does great things for getting kids prepared for college and beyond. And Keith Granberry, founder of Helping Hands Consultants. Before we get to the first question, just a quick reminder, a lot of us are focused on the presidential and gubernatorial elections next year, but there are elections in many municipalities on November 7th. So check it out in your local area, Louisville, High Point, Rural Hall, King, Kernersville. Check it out and go vote. All right, first question. Violence at high school football games is becoming all too common in North Carolina, including recent incidents in Greensboro that precipitated moving a Friday night game to a Saturday day game. Should all high school football games be moved to daytime Saturday, and should all schools have metal detectors at the stadiums? Oh.
I don't think metal detectors really work because some of it happens in the parking lot. Didn't that shooting at Dudley happen in the parking lot?
Right.
Jim, I don't know what the answer is. It's just saddening. It just makes me really sad.
You're a parent of great athletes. Move them to day games?
I don't think so. I think people are going to be dumb day or night. It's like you said, and it's oftentimes not even the people associated with the school itself. I think we have to figure out a different way.
Day games instead of night games?
No, night games. Still increase security. You're going to have to increase security not only inside this stadium, but outside the stadium and the parking lots as well.
All right. Some board members of the State Employee Credit Union are considering issuing home loans based on a person's credit score. In other words, if you have a low credit score, you'd pay a higher interest rate on your mortgage than someone who had a higher credit score. Is this discriminatory or just good business? Okay.
I thought it's already that way.
Well, it is pretty much in some ways, but they want to sort of make it a steadfast thing with the new board members that might come in.
I think it's, if you got a low credit score, you kind of got to pay the price.
Well, a lot of people base it on income too.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think?
I mean, I'm with Ogie. I thought it was already that way.
Yeah, they do it based on income more than anything else.
Yeah, but when you start to base things on income and that type of thing, you start to have to think about what does redlining look like? What is a history?
Key.
I think it's already been discriminatory. I mean, this is nothing new. Let's even the playing field.
All right. The widow of a man who died after driving off of a washed-out bridge near Hickory is suing Google Maps for failing to list the privately owned bridge as out of order. She's also suing the owners of the bridge, even though they notified Google in advance of the problem. Now, who wins these lawsuits, and who's at fault? Okay.
The state could have done a lot of things to prevent that. I don't think you can sue Google. I've gotten so lost in back road pig pass on Google Maps. You can't sue them, but they could have put up warning signs for miles before you got to the bridge and put up barriers so you couldn't get through.
It's privately owned. What do you think, Wendy?
I think if it's privately owned, it kind of falls on you. I mean, you reported it to Google Maps, yes, but a simple barrier would have kept that man from losing his life.
Key.
I don't think you got to use some common sense. Google Maps is not going to cause you to see it's a flood out there. You're going to keep driving. You got to use common sense. I don't think it's going to happen.
Earlier this year, we joked about cities that hold naked bike rides. I think Ogie went to one. But now legislators in Wisconsin are considering a new law that would make it a crime if a parent allows his child to witness a naked public event. Under the new law, parents would pay a $10,000 fine, maybe serve 9 months in jail. You guys and gals okay with punishing parents who allow their child to witness a naked event like a bike ride? What do you think, Ogie?
No, what has happened to Wisconsin anyway? Naked bike rides, that's fine. Come on,
Even
man.
for kids to what? Wendy,
Yeah.
you're a parent. Wendy, what do you think?
I think fine them more than that and put them in jail longer than that. Who wants to see an adult naked on a bike to start with?
Keith does.
I do not want to see a naked person on a bicycle.
So you
see naked people on TV, or what are we doing? But I do not want to see you or Ogie naked on a bicycle. I don't want to see that. That visual is messing me up right now.
You folks at home may not know this. This is Keith's last time on the show. All right, according to a Fox Digital survey, an increasing number of churchgoers drink coffee during services, and this has drawn the ire of pastors and priests around the nation. You guys and gals think it's okay to drink coffee or other beverages during a church service, Ogie?
No, I do not. I know churches, modern, non-denominational churches, break all the old rules that we used to have growing up, but that's just past the point of.
Wendy, what do you think?
I think no. I think the only thing you should have in your mouth is a piece of candy that comes out your grandma's purse. That's what I think.
And it's all hard and sticky,
Yeah,
and you can't
stuck
get
together.
Keith, what do you think? Okay to drink beverages during church service?
I think it's okay, man. I mean, some of these ministers, they go on for 4 or 5 hours. What you gonna do? You gotta have something to do.
Yeah, the church of
You ever
Jonathan
been to
Edwards,
Amy
that's right.
Zion church?
Yeah.
They go about 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah, that's right.
I need a drink. I need
You
some
don't need
food.
just get
I need
one of
dessert.
Just get one of her grandmother's mints.
That's right, and a mint.
All right, now finally, a study by the London School of Economics says that happiness peaks at age 70. Guys and gals, what age will happiness peak for you, Ogie?
I hope it hasn't peaked. I hope that. I feel really good most of the time.
All right.
And it's kind of been on a pretty steady incline. I thought it might have peaked at 64, when I'm 64.
Right, that's right. Like the old song, Wendy, when will happiness peak for you? What age?
I think my happiness may have peaked. My last child graduated from high school this year, so.
Keith, when will your happiness peak?
I don't think my happiness will ever peak. I'm just going to be eternally happy. As long as I don't see you on a bicycle naked.
Yeah.
And if I see that, my happiness will go down 10 points.
Oh, man. You're eternally something. All right, well, that's all the time we have. Oh, except for this. Scientists now say that 15,000 years ago, there were groups of people in Europe that when they go to funerals afterwards, they would cannibalize the corpse, which gives a whole new meaning to the phrase, I'm having a friend for dinner. That actually happens 15,000 years ago. We're all going to get one of Wendy's grandmother's mints and go home. I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next week.